Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this review for the open beta of The Crew 2 from Ubisoft. So I'm going to state up front that this video is not a sponsored review in any way. In fact, when I was researching other YouTube videos, I noticed that nearly all of the top videos on page 1 results are sponsored by Ubisoft, and some of the content creators were even nice enough to disclose this. Sadly, not all of them. So what I'm hoping to do is provide you with my honest and unbiased opinions on Ubi's latest iteration in the Crew series. So Ubisoft have promised us a big open world racing game where we can take to the controls of cars, off-roaders, airplanes and boats. Now the marketing lingo somewhat suggests that you can drive from coast to coast America, which is not actually the case. It's described as an inverted commas scaled down version of the US. So far it's unclear what that means exactly, but it certainly won't be a non-stop coast to coast race. Ubisoft do tell us on their website that you can experience the thrill of intense motorsports action in a car, truck, motorcycle, boat, off-road buggy or even a stunt plane. So let's see how intense and thrilling it has been. So who is the audience for The Crew 2? Well, I'd say folks who enjoy non-realistic arcade racers, drifting and the whole culture around that which Hollywood has suggested to us is essential. Think Fast and Furious the game. So lots of dude and pumped up young men and women proclaiming themselves to be the best. Lots of flexing. You also shouldn't mind a little bit of a grind because that's how you unlock new cars and upgrades for those cars. One thing to understand, and I don't think anybody would be in any doubt about this, but this is most definitely not a sim. It's not a simulation, and it's not even close. Not sure how you would think it is if you've seen any videos, but just to mention that. If Project Cars 2 is your thing, or Assetto Corsa, or any of the good simulation racers out there, well, this will definitely be not up your street. I hate to say it, but the in-game characters are pretty predictable and boring. You gotta be the best. Show me your stuff or you don't get this car, dude. A load of boring flexers basically, spouting lines that you will have heard countless times before. At certain times, the only thing missing was a cringy Logan Paul song, and I'm only half joking on that. So this is basically Fast and Furious the game. Now, if you dig that stuff, more power to you, but I prefer my in-game characters to have a little more depth and variety, and to basically not be a cliche. Don't believe me? Well, just check out this shizzle before you see it on the Oscars.
Hey there, I'm Wade Parker. Maybe you've heard of me, and this is my show. I'm looking for someone interested in racing off the beaten track, and I'll loan you a ride to see if you've got it. What is it? Take the keys, my friend, and we'll find out. If you win, you keep the car and get a shot at running some real races. You lose, I take my ride back and it's so long. But you're not gonna lose, are you? Huh, I didn't think so.
Sound. Oh boy, sound effects. So this is a racing game, so of course the engine sounds are going to be the priority to make sound as great as possible, right? Yeah. So the Porsche I started out in, which you can see on screen at the moment, basically sounds like a sick lawnmower. This is really one of the worst parts, as this is allegedly a game about cars. Maybe they sound better as you upgrade them. As with the previous game, you start off as an unknown racer trying to increase their profile across multiple racing disciplines. It also features a persistent open world, and as such an internet connection is required at all times. So as you might have predicted, the game centers around racing any number of land, sea or air vehicles to raise your follower count, which is basically XP in any other game. The more followers you have, the more rep you gain, and in turn the better vehicles and upgrades that you'll have access to. The map is one of North America, and events of a particular type occur at various locations. So the first time you visit one of these locations, the local flexer will come over to give you the same "are you good enough hotshot" speech that you got in every other area. So you'll need to prove yourself by completing a basic task, after which you'll be awarded a free vehicle, and from there you can go from hub to hub, choosing the type of events you want to compete in. So how is the driving? Well, honestly, it's pretty lackluster and pedestrian. You can hit a wall, keep going, hit a car, keep going, crash through almost anything and keep going. Now, I understand that this is an arcade racer and they're doing everything they can to keep up the pace and make it easy, but it came across as very, very unchallenging at times. Even when clipping along at full speed, the sense of that speed is not very apparent at all. This game does look pretty good. It's at the modern standard for what you would expect for this generation. Having said that, it's nothing special. I will mention that some of the open world sections do look amazing, however, especially in the more desert-like areas. The view distance is absolutely huge, and you can really drive right up to that huge mountain that you can see in the far, far distance. The cars themselves look very like their real-world counterparts, and the in-cockpit experience is great also. In fact, it's right up there in terms of detail with some of the Sims that I've played. The game ran at a perfectly stable 60 FPS on my Nvidia 1070 under Windows 10, so no complaints there at all. Not sure what the console experience is, whether it's 30 or 60 FPS. I play on PC. One funny thing, everybody in this game looks like they're really worried about something, that they all know about that something, but they don't want to tell you what it is. What's going on, people? So, what's the verdict? Well, if you want a big open world arcade racer featuring cars, boats, off-roaders and planes, and can tolerate the cliched voice acting, then this one could be for you. However, the problem the Crew 2 has is that so many other arcade racers out there do this way better, especially if the open world aspect doesn't matter to you. The Trackmania series, Wreckfest, Burnout, Need for Speed, Flat Out, and a few others as well. And also most of those games are cheaper than a minimum $60 game. So for me, the whole thing was a little bit of a struggle to enjoy. The limp sounding cars, the lazy handling, and worst of all, that voice acting and those characters. Dude. I probably won't be picking this one up, but I do hope that this totally unsponsored review will help you to decide if the Crew 2 is right for you. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you all in the next one.